Well, mate, here we are again, back for the podcast, the NRRRL Gingy and Foxy Rap. Yeah, we used to be called the NRRRL Rap, but we are the main part of this.
We got there.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
Yeah. So
we're still here.
It's the Gingy and Foxy NRRRL Rap.
In and we're still here.
Are we hit 50 already?
I don't know. We're close.
Okay, good. Well, we talked last week about players that hit in the hundreds. We got another announcement tonight about officials that hit over 100. So we'll get to that as well. We've also got tonight this is our first for season 2024 of the podcast. We've got our first special guest.
For
the year
from the Tweed Coast Raiders.
The Tweed Coast Raiders. Owen Fredericks, who is I think, and we'll confirm this with him when he comes on, Vice President of the Tweed Coast Raiders. Yep. So it's going to be great to have a chat with him, talk about what life's like up on the coast, how it's all going in clubland at the Raiders, and also, what their plans are for the season and basically get to know. It's an opportunity for us to get to know the people in the clubs.
Yep, a bit more about the Tweed Coast Raiders.
Yeah, that'll be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, let's get straight into it.
So we're going to bring, as I said, we've got a special guest tonight, and his name's Owen Fredericks. He's the Vice President. He's probably going to tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong, but he's the Vice President of the Tweed Coast Raiders Rugby League Football Club. And I must say, this is probably a compliment to Owen. He's the youngest Vice President I've ever seen in my life. And I can tell you right now, I think I'm going to get Owen back on after tonight because I think the viewing audience, particularly our lady viewing audience, will love this young man. So we'll get right into it. Welcome, Owen. How you going, brother?
Hey, Owen.
Cheers, lads. Thanks for the introduction there. But yeah, can confirm I'm probably one of the youngest vice presidents for our club. But we're, after the last few seasons, for our junior club, I'd love to help out and do what I can on the committee to keep the club going. And thanks for having me on, guys. Let's get into it.
It's an absolute pleasure, brother. And as I said, I think you've just sort of given us an insight as to first and foremost who you are, obviously. And particularly, I'm probably going to be one of the first questions I'm going to have based on what you've just talked about is you've obviously had some roles, I think, if I'm right or wrong, in the juniors as well up there. And you've progressed your way now through to the senior club. What's that transition been like for you, mate, into from the juniors into the senior side of things?
Sure, mate. I was a young Tweed Coast Raiders junior, come all through the ranks from under sevens all the way up and transition. As I was transitioning, we actually didn't have a senior A grade. That's when we were still trying to get back into the comp, and a lot of the people on the committee now, Drew Lanston, Rocket, Mickey Gordon, Kyle Rowson, Ashburn, they've sort of got the club up and running again, and now we're sort of full steam ahead, and obviously had some successful seasons, so it was really good to come in as a young player, be around all the lads around a really successful team, and that's when we first got Brent Kite as well. So we were really, really young transitioning through, and that was when the Lower Clarence Magpies were under 18. So that's where I actually transitioned through under 18 for the Magpies, and then we started getting an 18 reserve grade and gone from there. So after a few years and sort of part of my job as well, I'm always sort of hands-on and I can sort of help out in the department of the committee. As you guys know, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes, and it does take it out of you sometimes. So more hands on deck that we can sort of have a part of the club, the easier it all goes on. So yeah, all volunteers at the end of the day, and there's a lot of stuff that has to happen, but we've got a really tight-knit committee that's really, really young as well, and we all just work really well together.
Yeah, mate, and it's good to hear. Look, and from what I'm hearing, so it is a volunteering component, and I think all of our boards across every club in the competition has the same, scenario with volunteers and how important they are to every club at every level. And just interesting that it is a thankless job as well sometimes. But obviously the relationship that you build with your junior base, and then obviously then into your seniors, and then you have that flow-on effect into your rugby league and what you're doing up there in the coast at the moment. It's massive in itself. Just from I suppose a viewing audience perspective, what's the Tweed Coast Raiders role up on the coast, and particularly in the area that you're in, up in that Cabarita, sort of area. So what's the role that you guys play in the community as well as what you do within the rugby league space?
Yeah, one of our biggest transition is because our juniors and seniors are separate. We wanted to really incorporate getting a gym up and running for our club. So we invested in the off season and spent a lot of money on a complete gym set up now with a recovery system as well. Then we've got a TV to watch Friday night footy or Thursday night footy, also to do video there as well. So it's a complete functional gym that all of our players, juniors, volunteers, coaches, and fans can access as well while we're there at the club, which is really, really good. But yeah, we're always sort of things that we can sort of put back into the community to either get people to play football and start to continue the journey to get to seniors. But it's been last sort of 2 years has been very, very busy trying to think outside the box of how we can sort of continue to get those 18s to transition into rugby league rather than sort of just falling off and putting in the too hard basket. So that was one of the biggest things, is just sort of like, what can we have different to develop the players, get them to stay? And, we've got a full gym that's completely free. And, mate, if you come cover it on a Tuesday, Thursday, more than welcome to come in and have a session. But, mate, it is completely packed, which is really good and what we want to see. So that's a step in the right direction. Now, hopefully the boys can put on some size and we can get some wins on the board, but that's the next plan.
Yeah, well, mate, I've got a candidate for your gym, and if you're happy to take him, the big fella next to me, the big fox, I think he's lost a few pounds over the last year or so, but he just needs some toning up. So if you're happy, I'm more than happy to send him up there 2 days a week, just to get him toned and fit. And I have no doubt, not just he won't be the only person happy about that. I know his missus will be happy as well. So, mate, that's good. So what do you think about that, lads?
But that's amazing what you guys have been able to do and get your own gym there. That's a big thing for the community and the club as a whole. So,
especially in these current financial circumstances around the country.
And with all the washouts. Oh, how good is it to have a gym?
Look, these guys have been affected more than anyone up in the washouts. But, mate, just that. I was just so pleased to hear that. I mean, we all know that financially, a lot of these kids, particularly coming through your juniors, and then a lot of your younger blokes in your 18s, dollar and cents these days to get a gym up and running, to make it free, is absolutely brilliant. It's a great investment into your community, but great investment into your football club moving forward, because we all know, like, a gym membership these days is up in excess of nearly $800 a year. So what you guys are doing, mate, that's phenomenal. I mean, I think there should be many other clubs in the competition. I hope that other clubs in the competition are having a good listen to this conversation, because if those sort of things can happen across the board, it doesn't just make the clubs, better and more competitive, it also then makes the competition more, better and more competitive as well, I think.
Yeah, mate, and for sure. The biggest thing that I've noticed as well, like I'm young, and just to see all the 18s come through. So we're struggling with the 18s last couple of years of numbers. Like, we've got a full side. They're undefeated this year. They're absolutely playing really amazing football. They're in there at 5 o'clock every single session. They're all together. They're all as one. They've got this little culture going where they're just feeding off each other. So instead of just rocking up at training and getting there at 6 and starting the warm-up, they're in at 5. They've got an extra hour on everyone else, and it's not just the gym and what they're doing there. It's the relationships and the camaraderie that they're building to be able to transform, to be able to close the net. So that was our biggest goal. It's not just about the gym. It's more about, like, getting people around the club and be able to offer something different than other clubs, because we've never been a club that will be able to give people a lot of money. We just have a base rate, and it's certainly only been just started to bring that into our club as well, just because we have to be competitive. But yeah, especially our young blokes, I've been amazed at how they've performed on the field, but off the field, their attitude to the gym and sort of working with us as well, with the committee, and doing things that we always ask them to do and being a part of it. It just means that we're going in the right direction, and I hope the 16s that are coming into the gym as well, going into the 18s, it's just that transition is going to be a lot easier than us losing all of our talent. They're going to Seagulls or going up north or going down to Sydney. Hopefully we can keep that group together, and that was our whole goal for it.
I'll tell you what, this has been an absolutely brilliant. I'm loving what you're talking. I think that's the direction that, as I said, most other clubs need to probably think about how they can invest or reinvest back into their junior bases, to be able to not just. I think financially, it's a better outcome moving forward. Results speak for themselves. Obviously, your under-18s, as you said, they're undefeated at this point in the competition, even with wonderful washouts. So, I think that's a credit to your club and a credit to people like yourself that are doing a great job, Owen. And I think, mate, it's really pleasing to hear, these sort of things that happen in clubs, because not many people in our viewing audience, not many people in NRRRL land get to hear these sort of messages, and I think they're key and they're crucial to great success and then the flow-on effect to just generating good young men and women into our communities, because regardless of whether you win, lose or you draw, whether you're successful winning premierships, just that camaraderie bit you speak about, it builds that confidence in these young guys to be able to go out and achieve anything they want to achieve, I think, in the end. So that's really good to hear, brother. It's pleasing for me anyway.
Mate, I want to ask you, how's it been having Kitey and Mickey Gordon around the club?
Yeah, mate, look, outstanding. I'll start with Kitey first. He's just the knowledge that he brings onto the team and how he can sort of hold the room, and when he speaks, everyone sort of respects instantly and sort of stops. And there's a few veterans getting around in our team that always give him a bit of lip and always ask and always back chat, and he doesn't often bite, but now we've got a couple of losses on the board. He's biting and sticking firm and really trying to just get us to sort of trust the process of what he's really trying to teach us, and we really just got to buy into it. But yeah, mate, Kitey, just even the detail of like a video session. Last night we done an hour video session, just in depth of just the very simple basics that not only we need to be doing at a higher level, but things you watch NRL and you'll pick it out on the NRL when you watch it on the weekend. You're like, far out, that's what he's talking about. So for me, a footy nerd, I absolutely love the game, and I've been playing it my whole life, and I nearly watch every single other team play at Bar TV on a Sunday night and stay up to midnight watching other games. So absolutely love it, and just to see the other teams and what he's trying to sort of implement into our club, we know it's going to be successful. We just got to trust the process. And someone like Mickey, he's got a world of experience as well. He's played at the highest levels with a lot of good players, and just even just playing outside him at the moment, he does not stop talking the whole game. He's India. He's telling me to get up, moving me. He's telling me to do this, or he's done this wrong, or run this line, or run this. Like, he's just non-stop talking. After the game, I go, mate, how do you still have a voice? You're in my ear the whole bloody game. Piss off for bloody half an hour. But very, very good to have that experience. We've had that transition period, which a lot of clubs go through, where the old veterans, they win a couple of premierships, they move on. And as long as we wish we could keep them around the club, but it's a new time to bring the juniors through and the younger fellas. We've had 4 debuts this year so far as well, of 18 and 19-year-olds. So we're through that period, and there's no one else better to be steering the ship than Kitey, knowing that these guys are going to come through with a really good indication of where they've got to be at to be able to play sort of A-grade football. So it's not only that, but just even our crowds and the people getting around in the community. Like, we have a massive fan base, the Hillbillies. We've got their own Facebook page. They're up and about.
We know all about the Hillbillies. Every time I come up there to coach, I sit down the front and I'm just thinking, can you just shut up?
Oh, mate, should see at the moment. You walk through the town of Cabarita, Boys Day, and they think they're running the town. Everyone's got their old jerseys on. It's all go this weekend. So no, it's exciting. It's an exciting time, and we wish that we just got to trust the process, and what he's teaching us is going to come through, and we're going to be able to play some competitive football. But at this stage, we've got to keep working hard, and like I said before, I enjoy every minute I work under Kitey or in his presence, because everything that he says is just so knowledgeable, and you take a lot away out of it. Whether we go into coaching in the next couple of years or whatever it may be in junior systems, we know that all the things that he's teaching us is really good to relate back to other people.
No, that's great, bro. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Like people like Kitey and the whatnots. Like, you have those blokes around in your club to impart their knowledge, regardless of how long they're going to be there. The footprint of what they leave and the trail they leave behind can only be better for your future. So, mate, well done to Kitey, and well done to yourselves in the club of what you're doing up there. And I think the question. It's not so much a question. I know that we're early on in the season. It hasn't been the start that you've probably wanted. You're building into that season. You can hear by the way You've talked about it tonight. You're definitely going to be competitive, as the competition gets on. But what do you think? What's your thoughts about the start to your club's season? We're specifically talking in first grade, obviously, but
yeah.
How's that been for you guys, with everything you've just talked to?
Yeah, mate, firstly, I think the NRRRL should be really proud of where it's come because it's very, very competitive. It's a very tough season. Every team's very, very competitive, and there's no easy weeks anymore. No. And then you transfer our comp to the Queensland comp. There's only, 5 teams up there, and there's only sort of 3 or 4 competitive. So we're doing really, really well in NRRRL. And look at all the players that we've got, ex-NRL players that have given back to their roots as well. It just gives us a really good stead and makes every team competitive, more crowds, more revenue, sort of more growth for the game. But for sure, we had a few good trials at the start of the year, and we sort of cemented this type of footy we want to play. And our completions are around the sort of 70 to 80%. And we always said if we complete at that rate, we're going to be competitive. And unfortunately, every single week we've been completing around the 40 and 50. And these good sides, you can't give them that much ball. And when you do, you suffer points. And that's a frustrating thing. We just are really close. No games sort of gotten out of our reach. They're really, really close results. And it's just that sort of 10, 15-minute period where we can't complete, we can't apply some pressure, and the other team's just too good to be able to score a try and change the momentum, and we just can't fight back. So it's just been frustrating because we had that sort of in the pre-season and in our trials, and now we've just got to find that. But I feel like we are getting closer, and what better way to obviously got an opportunity this week, Old Boys Day against Wollongbar. It's our biggest sort of rivalry. We used to be
a local derby
back in the day. Oh, mate, we get a massive crowd down there, and I've got goosebumps thinking about it, running out in front of the Hillbillies.
The Hillbillies will be on fire.
They'll be on the bloody beers at 10 a.m. It'll be a long day for them, but yeah, free piss for them, which will be good. But yeah, mate, look, we know we've got the side, we've got that self-belief. We just got to sort of find our rhythm, and it's only going to take one. We're really close to Byron Bay, and we thought that might have been the one. If we knocked them over, we're on a roll. But Evans, always a tough game down there. They're very, very tough, and they're always going to put in a strong performance down there. And now, like I said, what better way? We've got Wollongbar at home, Old Boys Day, and they've got a couple of new recruits that we want to stick it to them and have a good crack.
Yeah, no, that's great news, well, yeah. And that's good. I mean, I think you've sort of talked a bit about what the future plans for where you want to see your season heading, and all the things you've talked to tonight have definitely given me, the insight into to exactly what these segments are about, getting people to know what you're about, both in football, not just when you come and play against clubs in the different parts of the competition, but also get to know people like yourself and what you do within your club and how you see yourself now, but how you see yourself in the next 12, 14, 16, 18 months, and then obviously the years beyond that. So I thank you very much for that, and I think for me it's been a really good insight into the Tweed Coast Club and how you guys are going about business up there, and it's really pleasing to hear.
Mate, the Rocket Man last week, 100 games.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you just put on a show for him or what? Did he run out through the big, barrage of streamers and through a little wall with his name all over it?
Mate, he had his little nephews. He actually made his own signs with Uncle Rocket on them and gave it to his nephews. And bloody said, "Hold this up all game, will ya?" So he's done the background for his nephews to G him up. But Rocket's a special player. He just wears his absolute heart on the sleeve. There's not one of the more passionate players that I've played with. He's one of my best mates as well. So that whole week leading up and just the Tweed Daily News giving me a shout out, and at training we really, really wanted to rip in. There was a lot to play for, and he was pretty filthy. He crossed the line with about 12 minutes to go, and we would have been down by 4 right in front.
I saw
and
that.
The touchy called it a forward pass, and he was absolutely shattered. He was talking about it all night. He goes, how can you rip off a try when it's for 100 games? Does he know it's for 100 games? But it's the joys. It was a really close game, and unfortunately we won't be able to get the job done for him, but we he carried on that night like they won the bloody premiership. Mate,
it's a big achievement though by Rocket. I mean, any player, any club, in a local competition to get to 100 games for that club, it's massive.
mentioned a lot earlier, he's played a lot of Tweed Seagulls last few years. He's been playing some really good games up there. So pleasure to have him with his team and love to run out behind him every single week. So his big brother, Drew Lanston, he's due for his 100 in about 5 or 6 games as well. So, yeah, there'll be another big occasion. Hopefully it lands on a home game and we can put something on special for him. But, mate, even just what they do behind the club, like they're both on the committee.
Yeah.
Drew's the bloody secretary, treasurer, vice president. He does a lot of things behind the scenes. And it's hours and hours and hours. So to come up and do a 100 game and hopefully be at home, it'll be another big one as well. So it's just a massive sort of credit to those guys as well. They got the club started again in 2016. They've stuck around. It's not easy. It's not easy, as you guys know.
Definitely
Yeah, it's an absolute privilege, and I'm absolutely stoked for them. So hopefully we get some more in the future.
Nah, it's good, brother. It's good.
Mate, before we let you go, is there any events or anything like that Tweed Coast has got coming up that you want to give a plug
Old
out
boys
to?
coming up this weekend.
Got Old Boys this weekend?
Yeah.
Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Got to give a sponsor. Got to give a shout out to GSW Cleaning. Jeff Wallace. He's a coach of the 18s as well, and he's been put a lot of time and effort into the 18s. He's one of our major sponsors. So fingers crossed, those boys are really hitting their straps. They've had a couple of tough games against some good opposition, and they've got to keep the momentum. And as you know, with 18s, they can just lose their heads and start to sort of go down the ladder quick. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they can keep the momentum up. And Jeff's doing a great job with those guys, and Begsy with the reserve grade. They had a great win against Evans on the weekend. Probably the best game I've seen Reggie play in a few years, which is really good. Now it's just the A grade to lead by example from the 18s and Reggies and get a couple of wins on the board. But yeah, we've got a ball, got our Raiders ball in a few weeks as well, which is always a good time at the Cubber Bowls Club. We all get dressed up, and Mickey Gordon reached out to all these NRL clubs. We get some signed jerseys, and everything goes back into the club. So we'll next thing for the gym's a new ice bath. So that's what we're saving up for. We're going to get a full ice bath and hopefully a sauna set up, so it'll be done then. Everyone will be ready to go, and we'll have the full gym membership, recovery and video session whenever you're ready and you're a part of the Tweed Coast Raiders.
Yeah, it sounds good, mate. Yeah, it'll be beautiful. And I'll still send as I said, if the opportunity's open, I'd still love to send the Foxy up there for a couple of sessions.
I'm gonna wait till you get that ice bath so I can get straight into the ice bath after it.
Do the sauna first. Do the sauna, then the ice bath.
Right next to the ice bath for you, mate. So we're, that's it. First thing we thought of.
Big Foxy loves an ice bath, I can tell you that. But anyway, brother, look, thank you for taking the time tonight and coming on and giving us that wonderful insight into the Tweed Coast Raiders, where you've come from, where it's at right now, but also where your future is going to lie moving forward, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure, and you're a great, example of, young blokes that think that, maybe they're only there just to play footy, but you took the leap, mate, and you jumped yourself into the committee, and you're doing a wonderful job up there, mate, and keep doing what you're doing, and no doubt down the track you'll reap the benefits of that. So well done, mate, and congratulations to yourself and the Raiders, and good luck for the rest of your year.
No worries. Appreciate your time, and honoured to be on the podcast, lads. Appreciate
awesome.
it. And,
first one for the year, so you're holding the platform at the moment.
You've set the bar, mate.
Yeah, and as I said, I'd love to have you back on every couple of weeks, because I reckon our viewing audience, particularly in the ladies' side, would be a lot better, because I'm pretty sure that they're not there looking at me and him anyway. So.
All good, legends. No worries. Anytime, mate.
All good, brother. We'll see you during the season.
Cheers, lads.
Thanks,
mate. See ya.
Thanks, lads. See ya.
Mate, what a great young bloke.
How good was that?
How good that is. The challenge is out to all the other NRRRL clubs in the competition. I'm just going to say, beat that Raider, because I'll tell you what a great young man.
What a good insight
and a
to
good
the Tweed
story.
Coast Raiders.
Oh, mate, that's unbelievable about what they do. You know what?
We need to go and check
I'll tell you what. We are going to go and check the gym out. When we go up there, we're going to ask them we'll go early, and we'll get in. We're going to get a tour. You can have an ice bath before the game, and mate, I can't wait to get up there. But I think the thing for me out of that conversation with young Owen, mate, is it's inspirational. Like I'm sitting here thinking of things that what we're doing. Like we have that opportunity. We've got a club where we utilise a gym and all that sort of stuff, but it's through Southern Cross University. But we've got big plans for where we want to head, and we'll get someone to talk, Mitch, to come on and talk about where the club's heading as well into the future. But mate, That's a great yarn. That's made my night.
Yeah,
I could probably just take the headphones off and give it up and say, that's it, well done, see you all next week. But we won't do that. We'll get on with the rest of our night.
We'll thank Owen for that. And
thanks,
the Tweed
Owen.
Coast
Really
Raiders.
appreciate it.
And shout out to all your other clubs.
Yeah.
Get in and let's
see what's happening in your club. And as I said, top that Raider.
Top that Raider.
There you go, eh? Okay, mate, we're going to head back into the rest of our podcast. So
let's move in.
We're going to go jump straight into
your favourite.
Have we got the segment ready for it? Oh shit, we still Goffy. I gave you one job all week to get the segment ready. Okay, stop there. Rightio. We're going to go to around the grounds. Where you go, Leslie?
All right, let's go. Round 8, mate.
Round 8. Officially round 8.
Don't talk. Round 8.
That's officially round 8.
Mate, we're going to go straight into
it. Let's get in, mate. Let's go. Results.
Evans Head.
A grade.
Evans Head versus Tweed Coast Raiders. Evans Head come away 20-10 victors.
And, mate, I'm not even going to comment on that game because I think Owen gave us the best insight into that game. The only thing I will say to that is, and I'm just going to do it again, congratulations, Rocket, on your 100th game.
Good stuff, Rocket.
I know it's not one you're probably going to look back on and not remember, even though you got a meat pie that got disallowed. Still, congratulations, brother.
Mate, our second game. The Balambal Jets, 34, defeated Northern 30.
Yeah, mate, I actually do want to comment on this one. Look, for me, I think from a Northern point of view, our first half was near perfect. Mm-hmm. Our second half wasn't as great as what it could have been and should have been. It's going to be one of those games that the playing group particularly will look back and go, it's one that got away. I believe we played the style of football that didn't just put Balambal under pressure, but it'll put most clubs in the competition under pressure, but we weren't consistent for 80 minutes. No. We played 65 minutes of football, and I have no doubt that every other club in the competition will be sitting back watching footage, and they'll actually start to pick apart that game. And my advice would be go for it, guys, and things will change. But, I mean, we know we had to go back to the drawing board, and we did that last night. I think we had a good quality session. We got a big week ahead of us this week because we've got a bigger game coming up, and we'll get to that at the end. But
hats off to Balambal. I thought they were pretty strong, mate.
Played 80 minutes.
That last 20 minutes, I thought they were really strong. They just took it up, made metres through the middle.
Yeah, mate, we played some dumb footy for 20 minutes. So, and we didn't get the result. So.
Good win there, Balambal.
Good win to Balambal. Congratulations to Balambal.
Our next game, Mooloolaba 24 defeated Mullumbimby 10.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to get into the tips, but I'm pretty sure I tipped Mooloolaba in this one. Mate, Mooloolaba actually, I think it's a good confidence win. I'm just going to say, backed on what they did the week before against Ballina, where they nearly tipped Ballina. They go away from there, and they could have put their head in the sand. And Mullumbimby is a tough game regardless.
Been good this year,
They've been good this year. So, mate, I did notice though that Mullumbimby didn't have the halfback 5'8" Willie Hammond playing. So
no, I was speaking to him earlier this week. He said he played reserve grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he was away and he came back, I think.
Oh, okay. So that's why I wasn't playing. But that being said, mate, congratulations to Mooloolaba. They're on the run now, so they got to win after the last couple of weeks. They've had a tough couple of weeks.
Hopefully they
get some back on
young Will back in first grade.
Yeah, he probably will be. Yeah, so,
mate, I don't have a score here, but you might know. Coogin versus Casino.
Yeah, Coogin, mate. This one it was 24 or 26 to 12 or 16. So it wasn't as, I suppose, a lot of being up in Coogin, a lot of people thought this one might have got away from Casino. But, mate, again, Casino's playing 80 minutes every week. They're competitive. They're out to try and win every game they play. Coogin had to be at their best, and they got the result. So congratulations to Coogin. Yeah. They move forward.
Good win, Coogin. Our next game, mate, which is a tough game here too. Marsh Brothers 30 defeated Kyogle 20. High-scoring game.
We did say it was going to be a tough game, and that's exactly the way it was over there in Turkey Town.
Yeah, I think you tipped the Turkeys.
I think I did tip the Turkeys. I thought there might have been an upset on the cards, and mate, the score it was close to it. But my brothers, they're how would I say this? They're sort of going under the radar. They're getting the wins under their belt that they need. And everyone else is sort of worried about the top end of the competition, and brothers have all of a sudden come up and they're going, okay, here we are. And right now, I think they're sitting either third or fourth in the competition. So congratulations to brothers. They're doing quite well. And, they need to be consistent now moving forward and continue to do what they do.
Mate, in our final game was Lower Clarence versus the Boundless Seagulls. And the Boundless Seagulls just edge out Lower 36-30.
Mate, I think the try that got on the win was scored like 3 minutes to go.
And here I was saying Ballina by 40.
Yeah, mate, and I'm going to say something in this game. I'm not quite sure what's happening in Ballina. I think Barnsley's probably hit the panic buttons a week or two ago because he's pulled 2 players out of retirement. So Jesse Perry strapped on the boots on the weekend, I'm hearing, and now Jesse was definitely retired. Obviously, he's got some stuff coming up in the next week or two as well. He's getting made an honest man, and he's getting married.
Oh, yeah.
And on top of that, he's got a young family now, and I thought he was going to be enjoying retirement. But as I said, Barnes hit the panic button, and you have Barnes. Don't say you haven't. You hit the panic button, and he's called 2 senior blokes out of retirement in Jesse Perry and Damien Sirenen in the front row. So, so obviously that's going to be...
There's a few injuries there at Ballina at the moment, I believe. So.
Yeah, so you'd know you've got some insight into that.
So, 36-30.
Close win.
What a close game.
But they still won.
Do you want to have a quick look at the top 6 as it stands?
Yeah, mate, go for it.
Top 6 as it stands now is Byron Bay, Bilambil, Ballina, Casino, Marsh Brothers, Northern.
I'm going to go back and ask you to do it again, and I'm going to ask you to give the points.
Okay. So Byron Bay sitting on top on 9 points. Bilambil on 8 with Ballina. Casino and Marsh Brothers on 7 points. And Northern, Evans and Coogin all sitting on 6 points.
Mate, I'll tell you, and I think Owen said it, what a great competition this year.
Yeah.
The NRRRL, mate. Take your hats off to the NRRRL, mate. It's been a great competition to this point in time, even with Les's favourite word, washouts. That being said, mate, it's now time to look at what's coming up into the rounds for this weekend. In round, what is it?
We'll give the quick reserve grade score round.
Okay, you're going to go through reserve grade. I'll let you do your thing.
And 18s. And
I'll let you do your thing.
Okay, so I didn't have I think Tweed Coast won the reserve. I'll just say who won, beat who. Yeah. Tweed Coast beat Evans. Bilambil beat Northern. Murbar beat...
Too.
Yeah, big score. Murbar beat Mullumbimby. Not too sure about the reserve grade with Coogin and Casino. Coogin got up.
Yeah.
Marsh Brothers over Kyogle. Do you know who won out of Tweed Seagulls and Byron Bay?
Tweed Seagulls. No, I think it was Byron.
We'll confirm that one, sorry.
Tweed Seagulls reserve grade side is very much now starting to resemble a first grade team. I'm being honest.
Tweed Seagulls.
Tweed Seagulls reserve grade side is very strong, mate.
Yeah,
very strong, and it doesn't look like a reserve grade team.
Yeah.
It actually is starting to resemble a first grade shape.
And Ballina beat Lower Clarence. So there's our reserve grade.
What's happening in the 18s?
18s. Bilambil won against Northern.
And a forfeit.
On a forfeit. Murbar defeated Mullumbimby. Not too sure about the Coogin and Casino game. Marsh Brothers and Kyogle, 10-all draw.
10-all draw in the 18s?
Yeah, not too sure about the Byron Bay Tweed Seagulls one. I think that would have been a good game, though.
I'm pretty sure it was Byron.
And Lower Clarence defeated Ballina.
There you go. Lower Clarence defeated Ballina in the 18s.
In the 18s.
Well, there you go.
The NRRRL
Women's tackle.
Our favourite. Mate, there was only one game on the weekend, I believe.
Yeah, and it was Northern v Bilambil, and Northern got up 16
10-4.
No, they didn't.
Is that wrong?
Yeah, that's wrong.
Okay.
Yep, that score's wrong.
Good.
It was 16.
20-16.
Yes,
that it?
That's correct.
Okay. There you go. And I'm not too sure if the Evans Head Casino game.
I'm not quite sure of that result, mate. I think Evans might have got up, but I can't be assured that that's what happened.
All right.
Well, good. So so let's just jump straight in now while we're here. Round 8, did you say? So games coming up this round.
Oh, man.
I mean, round 8, mate. You're usually on top of you. This is your little thing, mate. What's going on?
I'm having technical difficulties with my phone at the moment.
Okay, use 2 fingers, mate, for beginners.
All right, let's go. Wait, let me bring up round 9. Wait, you talk, mate, while I bring
So round 9, while we're looking, it's been, obviously we've got a few things to come up in the next few weeks with the long weekend. We've got those 3 games we talked about last week between, one of the games is...
round 9. You want me to
Sorry,
get
one
into
of the games next week is the Northern v Coogin on Saturday.
Now, Benji, whoever I read first is what?
Is the home team.
Okay. So, we've got...
Are you trying to make me look bad again?
No.
Okay.
Tweed Coast versus Moolumbar.
After that conversation I've just had, I'm actually going to say Tweed Coast.
I'm going Tweed Coast. Old Boys Day.
Yeah.
Turn
I'll
on.
turn it on.
The Hillbillies out in
They'll
fourth.
give Rockies 101 win.
Yeah.
101th.
101.
There's a word. Word for the day.
Mullumbimby versus Lower Clarence.
Sorry?
Mullumbimby versus Lower Clarence. I'm going Mullum,
I'm saying lower.
just because it's at home. Bowler versus Northern. Goffey. Northern. Casino versus Byron.
I'm going to say Byron.
I'm going to say Byron in a tough game.
Yep.
Marsh Brothers versus Coogin.
Marston Coogin. Coogin.
I'm going Marsh.
Where's it at?
Balamble versus Kyogle.
Where's that?
Balamble versus Kyogle.
Is that on Sunday?
It is on Sunday. The only Saturday game is...
Goffey, who's doing that game on Sunday with Coogin and... who's your appointed
Marsh Brothers versus Coogin.
Okay, no, that's all good, mate. Well, I'll text you about that.
Balamble versus Kyogle.
Balamble v Kyogle.
I'm going Balamble.
Yeah.
At home.
Yep. Too strong.
Mate, that's our round 9. Wrap up.
Round 9, there you go. So strap yourselves in for another great round of rugby league. And I'm just going to say this. Make sure you take your umbrella this weekend and make sure you take a jacket because it is going to be wet.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, there will be some rain. Nothing that would create a washout, but there will be some wet weather football played this weekend in the Northern Rivers. So, mate, thanks for that. It's been a very good roundup of around the grounds, and we now know, and the viewing audience now know what's going on in the NRRRL competition across all grades, and also know what's going on going into the competition this weekend. Now, let's get into the other parts of our segments. We've got Controversy Corner.
What have you got?
I've got a bit of controversy, and look, I know we're having
Surprise.
I know we're having a tough time in the competition at the moment with referees.
Yeah.
You brought up a major point to me on Sunday night, and then you brought it up again yesterday.
Did I?
And yeah, you did. On the 2 occasions you've spoken to me, you had a senior referee on the weekend that did 2 grades back to back, being a reserve grade game and then jumping straight into a first grade game, a top of the table clash. I think personally, I haven't spoken to the referee, but I actually am planning to have a conversation with him, not about the game. I think he did a great game, by the way. There was components of the game where obviously us as coaches never see things 100%. But I will say it was very noticeable that because this particular referee did a reserve grade game and a first grade game, the last 20 minutes of the first grade game, I think, took its toll, which led into some really, I suppose, some big decisions that could have went either way. The other thing that was really interesting, on the mic, he had 2 young referees, 2 young up-and-coming referees on the touch lines, and we do know we're struggling at the moment with numbers, but I could, on 2 or 3 occasions when I watched the game back, I could also clearly hear him say, can you please make a decision and help me out when it comes to knock-ons, whether it comes to forward passes, whether it comes to little infringements in the game. And one of the young referees was really good, and the other young girl, she's a young lady. She did a great job, by the way, but she was probably not as boisterous as what she probably could have been, particularly at crucial parts of the game. Now, that being said, my controversy in this is we're starting to see these things take their toll on the referees because of the decisions that happen in crucial games. But my major concern about this, Les, is burnout. Not just burnout over 2 games on the weekend, but I'm talking about longevity. I'm talking about as the season gets longer, we've got a whole bunch of washed out games that are going to be played. And if these guys continue at the rate they are...
Well, even if they're doing games on Saturday and a Sunday.
Well, a lot of these blokes are doing junior league as well. I know, what's the young bloke over at Kyogle?
I think Bowder was short a touch judge on the weekend as well.
In A grade?
I think so.
And this is what I'm... Look, I think the NRRRL need to have a really good look at this. I'm not quite sure what the answers are. I don't know what the answers are, to be totally honest. My only answer to this, or not answer, but my only concern in this is if we can't get it together, this is going to impact on results. This is going to have clubs come into, I suppose, they're going to be start to come back in on the NRRRL. They're going to be things that are going to be said where coaches aren't going to be happy, clubs aren't going to be happy, results are going to be impinged on decisions purely based on lack of numbers and fatigue. Now, whether we like to think it, believe it or not, it's real. It needs to be addressed. I've got no idea how Josh is coping at the moment, and the guys that are doing, all the referees, that are refereeing at the moment across the whole competition. As I said, you've also got an inflow of blokes that have refereed under 18s and reserve grade the last year or so, or maybe even more, now thrust into first grade, earning their stripes, and that's great, but it impacts on games.
How do you become a touch judge or a ref? I might have to.
You have to do a course through New South Wales Rugby League. I actually did the course.
Are you a qualified touchy or a ref or something?
Yeah, I am, but I don't. I can't run, mate. It's like my knees impinge that.
I think that might be something good to get into, touch judge.
Do you want to do it?
I might look into it.
After the season? Because you've got a big commitment this year, because you've got a big role. You're playing reserve grade. And initially you were only going to play reserve grade if they needed you. Well, they've needed you every game. That's I've got no. So the need bit is the other thing that I'm going to say is there was another job that you're doing in the club that you haven't done since round 1. So you actually have a role in first grade where you've got a management role with me, and the other thing, you also run the water. But in the last 3 games we've played, I haven't seen you.
I can't get a rest.
I know.
I've been too tired.
So, talk about burnout for referees. I'm also talking about burnout with you. So, look, my message message tonight, Les, to the NRRRL, to the Referees Association of the NRRRL, guys, I'm not saying that we're at a really bad space. I'm saying that you need to sit together. You need to work this out. Whatever needs to be resolved, can you please resolve it? Because we've got some really good referees sitting on the sideline doing jack crap.
Maybe some ex-players that want to become... I'm seriously thinking about now becoming a touch judge.
Why don't you become a referee?
Okay, I don't think I'll be fast enough to do a middle. Touch judge will be all
okay,
right.
well, there you go. Well, there you go, Josh. I'm just going to put you on notice. Josh Gollan, can you make a phone call? I'm going to text you Les's number after the podcast tonight.
Next year.
He's quite willing to become a referee and do the full referee's course, and then present himself every week in a paid capacity.
He's probably thinking, about time.
In a paid capacity.
You're a pest when you're playing.
We at the Northern United Rugby League Football Club will support the Big Fox in becoming an official next year, and we're happy to hand him over.
He'll be thinking.
And the only thing I will say, Josh, if he rings you as much as he rings me, good luck.
I know exactly what he'll be thinking. You're a pest while you're playing. You're going to get what you deserve.
Yeah, good. And I'm going to hold you to what you've said tonight in every possible way. You will be an official next year. And I will sign you up and make sure and ensure you do the course. So, look, that's my bit of controversy. It isn't as probably big as what people think, but it is real. And I've got concern for the guys that are doing the jobs at the moment, and my concern is burnout.
Our
And
refs
with
do a
burnout,
great
with
job,
burnout
though,
comes bad decision making.
Our refs do a great job.
Oh, unbelievably great
Without
job.
refs, we don't have a game.
And look, I think Josh is doing a great job, and trying to manage what he's got to work with, and credit to him, mate. So
that's us.
Okay, yeah, that's it. We got
one more quick thing. Let's
we're
get
not
into
finished.
Origin first, eh?
Yeah, we're going to have. Let's talk about the Origin. Let's really talk about the Origin.
Why are you getting so excited?
Oh, because I love your team. I love your team that you've picked in. Queensland. Everyone said, Queensland should be worried. Well, I'm just going to say, yeah, we're laughing. We're really worried up in Queensland about the team that you've picked. So, going into it, Les, just on an Origin note, are you happy with your team?
Am I what? I'm so keen.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's
No Tedesco.
It's a team that nobody likes. Nobody likes it. I think.
No,
I
nobody likes Queensland. We're the team that you can't take our mantle.
But everyone's got a say on what the New South Wales team has been picked.
Yeah,
And I
look,
said,
and
let's watch them play first and see what happens. That's what I say.
They've picked a lot of back rowers
That
on their
doesn't-
bench. Like they got
Mate,
back
they can
rowers.
play front row, back row.
They're full of back rowers, and then they've also obviously. What's your take on the Tedesco thing?
I think Dylan Edwards deserves his crack.
But do you not like? See, if he was a Queenslander,
Yeah.
I believe Queensland do things the right way.
So you say you'd persevere with him?
I would have for one more series. He's in good form, mate. His form is probably. Don't get me wrong. I think Dylan Edwards' form is great, but mate, honestly,
I think Dylan Edwards is the better fullback at the moment.
Okay, well there you go.
Out of the two,
I beg to differ. I would have
always
given
agree.
Tedesco one game at least,
He had 3 games last year.
and he was their best player. He was New South Wales' best player by far.
All right.
Country more.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you think about the No Latrell pick?
Who?
No Latrell.
I just think they went with lack
Be
of
honest.
games. I reckon they just went lack of games, so they picked
Do you honestly
2 other
believe it?
centres.
Do you honestly? So there was a conversation between Madge and Latrell.
No, I
and
don't know.
It didn't finish great. It didn't finish great, apparently.
Oh,
Yep.
was there?
Yep, there has been. Do your homework.
I don't mind.
You get one
Stephen
job
Fry.
all week to do, and it's to call homework. So I'm now telling you that there was a
I'm
conversation.
just going off who's picked.
There was okay. Well, you can go off who's picked. I'm giving you the insight into who's not picked and why not picked. Why would you? Don't get me wrong. I mean, if we say we're picking people on form, I'm all go for it. But why would you pick a player that for the next 6 years is going to be playing rugby to play State of Origin?
Don't know.
Su'ali'i. The only thing I would be doing is Su'ali'i him back to the Roosters and bringing in a centre that's going to be playing for their club for the next 3 to 5 or 6 years, for their country for the next 3 to 5 or 6 years, and not waste my time on a bloke that's going to rugby next year.
So he's playing NRL now, and if he's playing good enough, does he not deserve?
I don't even.
He doesn't deserve a
honestly
crack?
don't think he's playing good enough.
But I'm just saying.
If you tell me he's the best centre in the competition and he's been playing on the wing, like how where does I don't know. Madge he's got wonderful ideas, so let's just see if we can come to. Outside of that, as I said, look at your bench.
Isaiah Yeo,
Yep, back row,
Spencer Linu,
front row,
yeah, Hudson Young.
back row.
How do I pronounce that? Olakawate.
Yep, that's him.
Olakawate from
row.
Manly.
Back row.
Back row.
Where's he putting all the back rowers when he makes the changes?
Back row.
Well, they're all going to play in the back row.
Yeah.
Like they're all playing on the edge.
Mate, they can push up front. Doesn't matter.
So you're telling me?
This was a big one, though.
Who?
Cameron McGuinness starting at lock over Isaiah Yeo.
I'll tell you how big it is. Cameron McGuinness even been in the team. Do you think Cameron McGuinness will actually start at 13 and then go to 9? Because they haven't picked a hooker on the bench.
Yeah, possibly.
And have a look at they picked at hooker. No Appy Coruscant.
Reece Robson, yeah. I was a bit devastated with Appy not being in there.
So my take on the New South Wales team is advantageous, risk-taking, and the only thing I would say to Madge is you want to pray to God that it all comes off, because this could be a one-year gig.
Well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to see how they play game one, and then I'm going to go from there.
So what's your thoughts on my team?
Your team is as good as it always is. Queensland to a T. They just pick the team they know that'll get a job done.
Pick and stick.
Pick and stick. Yep.
With tried and true and tested, they don't make too many mistakes. Probably the only people see this as a mistake, but I can actually, to be honest, put my coach's hat on for a minute. I have a bit of an idea of
what they're doing with Cobbo.
Yeah, what they're doing with Cobbo.
What do you think they're going to do with Cobbo?
Cobbo
to lock.
Well, he's actually. I think he could either play 13.
Yep.
I think it could also play fullback. Should Walsh's knee not be as good as what people think it is?
So you think he's there?
Score cover.
Yep.
Yep.
So if Walsh is good, where do you play him? Do you just let him sit on the bench, or do you bring? Where do you bring?
I actually think I would like to see him at lock, but he also covers a wing spot and he also covers a centre spot. So there's a utility value in him. 1, 3, 4, 2, 5, 13. And a lot of people are probably going to look back at the podcast and go, Benji's crazy. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not crazy. I could see why he's picked as a 17.
Mate, Queensland side is, the backs are so good. Like, I find it hard.
All in form.
There's one bloke who I feel was unlucky not to get in too, and that's AJ Brimson. I think he's been in good form.
I think he's injured.
Is he?
Yeah, he's injured.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's not with the Titans either.
That explains it.
Yeah, so there you go, mate. So there you go. That's our origin. So let's put it all on the table.
Well, obviously I'm back in New South Wales.
Last year you actually went for Queensland twice.
No, but that was in a tipping comp.
No, you went for Queensland twice when we talked about it.
No, I backed New South Wales in the podcast.
Goffy, after tonight's footage, when we come to next week's podcast, can you bring up last year's last two State of Origin and who Les actually said he was actually supporting? Can you just cut the segment and then bring it in when we talk? Yeah. Okay, yeah, but can you do that, cut that footage? And I just want to see the last two Origins last year and who Les at, because I know he said Queensland, but anyway. All good. So that's our Origin wrap, is it, mate?
That's it. That's all I've got. Have you got anything else for
Nah, mate, I think that's it for me. I mean, outside of that, I've got a couple of shout-outs. I seen you look down, and I know what you're looking at, and you're not going to even go where we talked about earlier. So I haven't got a whatevs.
You haven't got any whatevs?
I haven't got any whatevs, and don't.
Okay, I won't do it.
Don't. It's not happening. I've got no whatevs for the night, so I'm going to save my whatevs for next week.
Okay.
That being said, shout-outs. I've got a couple of shout-outs. Look, I want to make...
I've got none.
Tonight, a big shout-out to a couple of... 6 young kids from our... Well, there's more than 6 young kids from our whole region, but there's a couple of players that went down and trialled played representative trials down in Sydney, down at Wollongong, in both the under 18s girls and also the under, I think, 18s boys.
I think they're
16s.
younger too, I think.
15s.
I think there was a couple of age groups.
15s. So we had, in the girls, we had a couple of girls in Phoenix, Rain, Hippi. We've also had the young Natalia Hickling Roberts. You've also had Savannah Hickling Roberts and Kalia, I think, and Kalia Browning as well. All went down to Sydney, and there was a young lady from Casino, a young girl of Walker that played New South Wales Country the week before. Mm-hmm. Also went down and played in the trials down in Sydney in the under-18s division to try and make the New South Wales girls under-18s team. And I've been informed tonight that Phoenix Rain Hippi was selected as number 3 for New South Wales combined high schools. So congratulations to Phoenix, congratulations to Natalia. She was also selected. She's a halfback utility. She's also Evan Hickling's daughter, and Cheyenne. And we all know that Evan was a great halfback, so his daughter's definitely following in Dad's footsteps. She's also made the state team, so she's off to the Australian Championships to put herself up front to try and make the under-18s Aussie team. Both these girls. And here's one for you. One of the girls that didn't get selected, and I watched every game, she was the best number 6 across, and I'm not being biased on this one, she actually was the best number 6 that I'd watched all week in the event, which was Savannah Hickling Roberts. Did not get a look in and was very unlucky not to make the state team. But we all know that she's also signed a Tier 1 contract with the Titans, so we might see her in NRLW this year, which I think we will. So don't be disappointed, Savannah. Great effort all week. Use the disappointment as motivation to be better. Work better off the field. Work better in what you do in the next few weeks to be able to make your mark on the NRLW. We also had 2 young.
There was a couple of young boys from up this
Saya,
wasn't there?
Saya Tonga was down there with the under 15s boys, I think it is.
I don't know what age.
I think it's under 15 or it's either under 18s. We had young Burren as well. Burren Laurie Roberts.
I think there was a couple
the son of
this way as well.
Reninia and Sean, who has a big future ahead of him if he decides to really knuckle down. So they both went well. I'm not quite sure the selection process down there, whether they made it or whether they didn't, but we'll find out and we'll make those announcements if they did. Here's the last thing. Phoenix Rain Hippai named under-18s player of the tournament.
That's big.
That's massive. She's also signed a Tier 1 contract with the Gold Coast Titans as well. So the Gold Coast Titans have wrapped up. Those 4 players have been wrapped up. So Natalia Hickling Roberts, Savannah Hickling Roberts, Phoenix Rain Hippai. They've all got these hyphenated names, though. And also Kalia Browning. Kalia, I think Browning. So they're also signed with the Titans. So you'll see these young ladies not just forge their way through representative arenas, but you'll also see these young ladies forge their way into NRLW in the next year or so.
Yeah, congratulations to
all
those that participated down there.
And congratulations to the parents, because we do know they pay for this all out of their own pockets, all down at Wollongong, accommodation, travel, the works, feed the kids. So well done to the parents as well for supporting your kids to make it to the level that they have. And, good work to all those young ladies and their families, and also to the young guys. And Sione, big yell out to Sione and Gemma and Reninia. You guys supporting your boys down there as well.
Beautiful.
Any other shout-outs?
No, I got none this week. I didn't put a post out this week.
Didn't put a post out? Oh, you're using your own facey.
I'll use my own facey and I'll be busy with work and uni. You know how it is.
So there's the shout-outs. I've got no other shout-outs outside of that. Oh, actually, I've got a shout-out. I've got a big shout-out to Kylie, my wife. Next week, it's her birthday. Yeah, so, happy birthday to Kylie. I think you're
good stuff.
Well over 50. Just saying. And also, there's another thing.
No housework,
but guess
no
what
nothing
happens,
for 2 weeks.
Guess what happens the day after her
bingy.
birthday?
Lawn bowls.
Wedding anniversary.
Oh.
Guess what year it is?
How old was I?
Can you guess?
20 years?
Kyle was 3.
Was it 20 years?
Kyle was 3. Kyle's 23 this year.
Yeah, 20 years.
That's a long time to be married. Yeah,
44.
Oh, Jesus. That's a long time too. I thought it was 30, but Kyle's 23, so it's 20 years. Yeah, I think what's that? Is that like? Yeah, far out. It feels like it at times. Don't worry.
Congratulations, Kyle. You've lasted 20 years.
For putting up. You idiot! Oh, I don't know how she did it. I put her through hell. I honestly have, and I apologise for that too. But anyway, you learn from your mistakes. Yeah. So that being said, guys,
that's it, mate.
What a wrap! What an NRRRL wrap tonight.
How good. Special guest on.
Hey.
Owen, fantastic.
Hopefully the
Raiders.
next couple of weeks we'll have some more special guests coming on. I think it breaks up the podcast, and it also gives an insight into, other clubs and other rugby league, what happens in that space across the whole of our competition. So thank you to Owen.
So that, Benji,
is
an NRRRL